Hi, hope you guys are doing well. It's time for my review of episode 9 of House of the Dragon, the Green Council. You know how it goes, so let's jump right into it. No Daemon, no Rhaenyra this week, and I like that decision. That way both teams have their own respective preparing for war episode, and I think that's very fair. You could really feel the suspense all throughout the episodes, very much so in the beginning when that piano came in and that spy was roaming around the Red Keep. Piano moments are always very rare in Game of Thrones, and Ramin Djawadi usually leaves them for special occasions, and this is certainly a special occasion. The Greens are preparing their betrayal, and it was very well done. I liked it all throughout the episode. The first thing I want to talk about is the scene between Alicent and her father, Otto Hightower. And I gotta say, I was really scared for a second. I thought that Otto kind of bought into Alicent's bullshit, and that it all really came down to this misunderstanding thing. I was scared that this would become House of the Dragon's own Robert's Rebellion was built on a lie kind of thing. And I was so glad to find out that's not the case when we skipped to the small council meeting. They have been preparing their own plans for Aegon's succession for a long time now, as it seems, and they did not inform Alicent, which is a very interesting change. Alicent, of course, is more of a driving force behind the coronation of Aegon, but I'm fine with it. I liked the small council meeting scenes. This was definitely my favorite segment of the entire episode. Poor Lyman Beesbury gave it his all, but he went out being honorable in a room full of traitors. Harold and Kristen Cole did not fight as we all thought when we did our podcast episode. It's just one of those things where, how can we improve the scene? Yeah, let's have them fight. That's kind of cheap, and I was glad to find out that's not the case. Harold Westerling even got his own little Barristan Selmy moment, even though I'm not sure why they just allowed him to leave, but I guess they will expand his role. Graham McTavish is a great actor. Given that they killed Caswell later on, I think they definitely should have killed him as well, but that's a level of plot armor that I can accept. It's not too bad. We then of course continue with Sir Kristen Cole and Aemond, as well as Eric and Arik searching for Aegon II. I like how Otto Hightower is all like, remove your white cloak, no one can know who you are. And then like 30 minutes later, the guy is wearing his own Hand of the Kingpin while being out in the streets. So that's definitely a bit silly. But apart from that, I really liked the dynamic between Kristen Cole and Aemond. That was something that I was looking forward to. I think they've done a great job, especially for Aemond. We get a lot of character motivation in this episode, how he wants to be king, how he wants to have what Aegon has, which Aegon doesn't even want to have. I also like the characterization of Kristen Cole in this episode. Of course, how he was talking about all women are the image of the mother, even though we as viewers know, just a couple of episodes ago, he called Rhaenyra a spoiled cunt. So there's that. And I also liked Eric and Arik. I think that's very interesting. That's something that can become House of the Dragon's very own Sandor and Gregor Clegane. A condensed version anyway, and I think they've done a great job with this back and forth between both brothers. We also got our first look at Gaiman Palehair in this episode, one of Aegon's bastards. So he's definitely coming back later on in the story. Rhaenys and Alicent had a great scene together. It finally went a little bit beyond the Great Council at Harrenhal. Eve Best finally has something to do in this episode, for better or worse anyway, but we'll get to that. Alicent and Otto then have a conversation that was years in the making. Alicent is not the pawn she used to be anymore. She takes matters into her own hands, names Sir Kristen Cole Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, as well as suing for peace instead of going for war right away. I know a lot of people out there have some big problems with how they are portraying Alicent so far. They've definitely whitewashed her, but they've pretty much done the same thing with Rhaenyra, so I think overall it works. We've spent 5 episodes seeing their friendship. I think it was a great decision to make Alicent younger. To me, it seems like their old friendship constantly influences their decision making. I like it. I think they've done a great job. I know that people want them to be reckless, but we gotta keep in mind that this is a show that has to appeal to the masses, not us book readers who are fine with assholes fighting assholes. But we'll get more into that later once again. Do I really have to talk about Larry Strong? When I was praising them for being faithful, I did not mean Mirror Swamp. Anyways, let's just talk about the important things. All the servants, all of Talia's, and in turn, of course, Mysarea's spiders got killed, and Alicent officially has blood on her hands now. They also seem to have burnt down Mysarea's palace in King's Landing. Don't worry, she's definitely alive, and this will likely just make her side with the Blacks now, and I wouldn't be surprised if she would turn up at Dragonstone in the next episode. So let's talk about the coronation of Aegon II. I think they've done a beautiful job. I liked how majestic it looked, and I liked everything from entrance of Aegon up until the very moment he got crowned. That being said, depending on where this goes, I have some major issues here. The next thing that happens is of course Rhaenys and Malice making their big WWE entrance, and they've killed a lot of innocent people there. And for the amount of innocent people that they've killed, it was very much glorified, and I don't like that at all. In the Inside the Episode, Ryan said that this was a triumphant moment for Rhaenys. And this is where it really gets me worried. Those people were forced to attend the coronation, so even if you're one of those insane people out there that would even justify this even if they went on their own will, that's just not what was happening. This story and so much of A Song of Ice and Fire is all about the horrors of war. When we go back to, for example, season 7 of Game of Thrones, when Arya Stark killed all of those Freys at the Twins, I didn't cheer. That was a horrible moment, and they've glorified it. And for me, depending on where this goes, this is on the same level here. And I said it as someone who was waiting for Rhaenys to do something all throughout the first season. You can go back and watch the other reviews. I've been saying it time and time again. When is Rhaenys gonna come in? When is Rhaenys finally gonna be her own character, apart from talking about the Iron Throne? She is one of my favorite characters. So what I hope they're gonna do with this now is setting up a major event that is gonna happen down the line, which I won't go into in this video. It's a major spoiler, but those of you who've read Fire and Blood will know. Apart from that, I also hope the Greens use this as a chance for propaganda. I was actually totally fine with her not killing her family right then and there. That's a whole lot of kinslaying, but the killing of the innocent, that I can't let that pass. That is definitely the first war crime. This story is about bad human beings doing horrible stuff. This is actually the first major problem that I have with House of the Dragon, with Kristen Cole killing Joffrey at the wedding. I was like, okay, well, we all know Kristen is gonna side with the Greens later on. And with Daemon and the Stepstones, he was never gonna die in that episode, in that battle. So I was like, okay, I can accept it, I can look past this. And I hope I'm totally wrong. I hope I'm talking out of my ass here. So I hope I'm proven wrong. So let's sum it up. I think this episode was a good one overall, but I also think it's the worst one of House of the Dragon so far. It definitely speaks for House of the Dragon's quality that this would be the best episode of Game of Thrones since season 4 still. Again, I think House of the Dragon is a very good show. This is just my least favorite out of the 9 episodes that we've got so far. Olivia Cooke's Alicent Hightower is the MVP of the episode for me. This might just be the episode that won her an Emmy award. And again, I like the suspense all throughout the episode. I think that was very well done. I like how the coronation initially started. I just have this one tiny problem that could turn into a major problem, depending on where they go from here. I give House of the Dragon episode 9 a 7 out of 10. And that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely make sure to subscribe, would very much appreciate that. And until then, take care and see us later.